Whenever shopping for a product or using a product, have you ever thought about which brands utilize painful and cruel animal testing? Whether it is a makeup product, skincare, hair product, or a household item, you may have used an item in your lifetime in which the brand utilizes animal testing. So today I'm going to go over why we should not be using animal testing, and the points I will go over are some background information on animal testing, the methods of animal testing, why we should not use animal testing, alternative methods, and our call to action, which is why we should switch to cruelty-free items. So what is animal testing? Animal testing can be traced back to about 384 BCE, and it can be defined by the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or the RSPCA, and it defines animal testing as an experimentation that occurs either to test medicines or chemicals, or to gain a greater understanding of how an animal and human bodies work. And the main goal of animal testing is to test the safety of an ingredient, or whether it is toxic or irritating to humans. And millions of animals worldwide are subjected to animal testing each year. And some of these animals include rabbits, dogs, cats, mice, rats, birds, and some products that can be tested on animals are makeup, toiletries, and household items. And now that we know what animal testing is, I will get into some of the methods in which animals are tested on. The method is the Drey's eyes test, and it's an irritancy test, and it basically sees how irritating a product is to the human eye. And basically this happens where substances are dropped into an animal's eyes, and most oftentimes this is rabbits. It's mostly done without anesthesia, so the rabbits are fully awake and aware of the pain and the suffering throughout this entire test. And then the next test is the LD50 test, LD standing for lethal dose. And it is a toxicity test, and it determines a dosage that will kill 50% of the testing population. So this is causing animals to die. And then the last one I will discuss is the skin irritancy test, and it's used to determine how irritating a product is to the human body or an ingredient. And this test is done by shaving an animal and then having the product placed onto the shaved part of the body to see how it reacts to it. And now that we've learned about the methods of animal testing, I will go into why animals should not be used for testing. So the first reason is that it is very cruel and inhumane to these animals, because they're subjected to cruel tactics such as force feeding, forced inhalation, lack of food and water, restraint, and inflicting wounds and pains on the animals that can cause serious injury or even death towards the animal. And the next reason is that it's not always accurate. It can also be flawed. And that's due to the difference in physiology and biology between humans and animals. For example, some chemicals that are safe to animals can be harmful to humans, and some chemicals that are safe to humans can be harmful to animals. And the next reason is that majority of animals utilized in these tests are not protected by the Animal Welfare Act, because the act doesn't cover animals such as fish, rats, or mice. And then it also is very costly to do. It can cost millions of dollars to do. And the last reason is because there's so many alternative methods now. We will get into the alternative methods now. So some alternative methods include computer testing, and which can include simulations, and that can predict the toxicity and irritancy and impacts of an ingredient on humans. And computers can also be used to assist in creating new medicines. And then another alternative method is cell and tissue cultures, and this basically occurs when the cells and tissues are removed from the animal's organs, such as livers, kidneys are removed out of the body, therefore not harming the animal, and then they are kept in a separate area, and they're monitored and they grow. And this is relatively quick and easy to do. And now we will discuss our call to action, and the biggest thing you can do to stop this inhumane treatment of animals is to switch to cruelty-free items. There are so many options for cruelty-free brands that you could swap to, a lot of them being affordable and accessible in stores. And there are about over 2,000 brands that are certified cruelty-free. And some of the ways you can determine if an item is cruelty-free is by checking the bunny logos. And beware of the bunny logo, because some brands use unverified bunny logos. And a bunny logo is basically a logo on an item that's basically stating it's cruelty-free, and the verified ones come from PETA or Leaping Bunny, which you can see here. And also there is a list of brands on PETA and Leaping Bunny that are certified cruelty-free, and there's some brands right here that are mentioned. And in today's speech, I discussed some background on animal testing, some test methods that are used to test on animals, why we shouldn't use animal testing, alternative methods, and the call to action, which is to swap to cruelty-free. And now that you know more about animal testing, I encourage you in taking that call to action and switching to cruelty-free, and remembering that next time you shop for your items. Who knows, maybe your next favorite item may be cruelty-free.